Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of A Walk with Mel, people. Today we're hanging out at Al Create Studios in Woodstock and we are chilling with a very talented lady called Michelle Hughes. She is a director, she's a producer, she's a dancer and also the founder of the Hideout Collective. So please sit back, relax and enjoy this episode with us. So yes, people, like I said, we've got a talented artist here, Michelle. Welcome by the show.
Thank you for having me. Very nice to be here.
I mean, we spoke off record now, and I said, I mean, we've got a crowd. Actually, guys, we've got to rent a crowd, and it's cool females doing so much. And I'm speaking to you now, and it's so cool for me to see just females doing the most, like you. You know, you are director, producer, dancer. You created your own Hideout Collective, which is so cool. But just for the people that don't know, give us an introduction of who you are and where you're from.
Sure. Who am I? Mel. That's a big question. But let me start with where I'm from. I'm originally from a farm in the Eastern Cape, so a Plaas Meisie. Yeah. Went to school in Bloemfontein, boarding school for 12 years before I moved to Cape Town to come and study and then pursue my dreams of dancing, which is currently what I'm doing now. You know, I dance as a professional and yeah, I produce, I direct, I do photography. Ek doen baie dinge.
Ek is oor dit, want weet jy wat is dit man, jy allow nie dinge vir jou terughou nie. You know, that's the cool thing. What was your introduction, or what was your introduction to dance or to art? What were you introduced to first, film or dance?
Dance, definitely dance. You know, I think, you know, just being on the farm, I didn't have a lot of friends. I had a paar skapies there in the corner.
Jy het nou 'n kroeg begin.
So then, 100%. Nee, maar I started dancing there in the garden, in between the flowers, singing, speaking to the plants.
Oh,
you know, that was me, and I think my mom saw that, and she said,
she's like, let's get this girl.
Let's get this girl some professional, some classes. You know,
the class is not gonna help.
Just not gonna help. So then my mom put me into ballet class, and I loved it. You know, I fell in love with it, and I moved into modern dancing as well. And eventually, when I came to Cape Town, it was my first introduction to contemporary dance, really. So before that, it was very like exam work, you know, AIDT, that very typical technical.
Which is needed.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think I'd be the dancer I am today if I didn't have that. And so when I came to Cape Town, I kind of moved more into the contemporary, and then about like 2 years ago or so, I kind of started training more in jazz, funk, hip hop, street styles.
When did you decide? I like it. When did you decide that you're gonna do this professionally? Did you always know that you would want to do this professionally?
I think I always knew I wanted to do it professionally. I think there was a moment when I was about 12 years old, and we had people from Broadway Dance Center in New York come through to Bloemfontein, no less, Elemente, Bloemfontein. And they did a workshop there, and like their energy and their passion, I just felt it and I loved it, and I saw it as this dream of I always want to go to New York. Like that's my thing. That's where I want to go, and I did. It was amazing.
And did you go to New York first before you studied, or what happened first?
So I first studied.
So let's go into that. Tell us about that. You obviously went into film, directing, and all of those things. Why that choice?
You know, I always loved telling stories. I loved visuals. I love things that look beautiful. I also did a lot of photography when I was at school even. So when I started with that, I think it was just a good medium, you know, to visually like move into something. And I just always loved the ability to bring all the different creative things together. Because you know, most when you make a film, there's wardrobe, there's set design, there's camera work, there's everything, and it's just you manage to bring so many different elements that you love into one big project, and then tell a story, make people feel something, move people.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And why do you think, I mean, I'm listening to you now, you've studied obviously film and directing and all of those things, you've invested in your craft as a dancer. Why do you think it's important to invest in yourself, number one, and to be versatile? Because you're not just doing one thing.
You must invest in yourself. If you want to be the best at what you do, you must invest in yourself, and you know, you learn so much and you grow so much. Like I don't know why we don't invest in ourselves more, because now we go and invest in a house because we want a nice place to live. You know, we invest in a nice car because we want to get to and from work safely. You want to invest in yourself because you want to grow, you want to learn, you want to become better at what you do, you want to be able to inspire other people, you want to help other people. And how are you going to do that? Because you can only take people as far as you went. Do you know what I mean? You must want to keep leveling up.
Thank you, Michelle. Drop gems. It is a walk with Mel. Wat gou vinnig 'n break, dan go anyway. Hallo. And we are back, people. It is A Walk with Mel. We're hanging out with Michelle Hughes today. And I mean, it's such an honor to have you in the show. And like I said, I love hearing how other females are just paving their own way. En ek sien dit in jou en dit is inspiring. So,
dankie.
Voor die break, dit is obviously gesels vir jou journey, hoe jy obviously in dit ingekom het. Maar ek het vergeet om vir jou te vra, wat type girl was jy growing up? I know it's a farm life. Were you cool? Were you nerdy?
Shoot.
Were you funny? Were you naughty?
I mean, I like to think I was funny, but don't ask my friends. They're probably gonna
be
lie.
Like, don't go into the comedian industry. Know who you are. It's because but it's okay.
But I think I was a very focused person growing up, you know. I think even in school, I used to work very hard. I used to know what I wanted, and I was like, yep, that's what I want, that's what I'm going to work for.
I wanted to ask you also, because I think we spoke about it before, but obviously we were in boarding school. What did you learn from that?
Ooh. You learn to live with people. You learn to live with people, but I think more than that, no, you learn a lot of independence, you learn a lot of respect, and I think, you know, maybe it's also just the school that I grew up in and the community. It was very focused on respecting others, respecting yourself, learning about independence and, you know, how to hold your own.
That's amazing because you can take it throughout your life, you know.
Absolutely.
Obviously, you mentioned earlier New York came to Bloemfontein.
Oh yes,
and then you obviously got the opportunity to go and travel and train. Tell us about those experiences.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my goodness, that was incredible. And it came straight after my studies. So I finished my studies in 2018, and in 2019 I got on a plane and I said hello New York, which I was very excited for. I couldn't wait, and it exceeded my expectations completely. I was so excited to be there and to just train and to experience the culture there. And I think I held on to that moment of when I was 12 years old, and I was like, that's gonna carry me through, because I know I want that full circle moment. And you know what, Mel? When I was in New York so I was very fortunate in 2018 to get the opportunity to be a backup dancer for Miley Cyrus in a Black Mirror episode.
Is that right?
Amazing.
Met 'n vriendin, want sy wil my op WhatsApp. Ek sê stop it.
You know,
I can't speak to you.
I'm busy.
I saw that Black Mirror. I watched it. That's incredible.
Yes, thank you. And you know, when I was in New York in 2019, did I now not walk into Times Square and see my face on a billboard? Yella, I was gobsmacked.
Mish? Are you serious?
Almost fell over backwards. Ek beloof jou vir my.
En jy het dit obviously nie geweet nie.
Nee, because here she is and we go.
Very important. That's an important movement. Now we know. If you see that episode, you check it out. That's
me.
So dope.
Yeah. And you know, I think that was a very pivotal moment for me in my career, because I saw that and I said, shoo, this won't look. Like, I can make it, you know, because I think growing up, especially coming from a farm, coming from Bloemfontein, you know, you don't have that a model or role model to look up to. That's someone that has modeled a dance career, you know, who's made 100%. It. And that's why people are scared. They're like, oh, we don't know if we can do it because we haven't seen anyone do it.
That's hectic. And to be the first to do it is harder.
It's so much harder.
People don't realize the sacrifices. What other countries have you traveled to dance-wise also, or just?
So I've been to the States and I was in New York. I went to LA. I traveled quite a bit in America. And then I also went to London this year. I just recently came back from London.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Well, you changed my accent.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yes.
And what was that experience like?
Oh, it was incredible, you know, and I think I learned so much from New York that I could also take with me to London, to the point where, because London was a delayed trip because yellow COVID,
obviously,
you know what I mean. So then I actually did so much groundwork so that by the time I got to London, I was fully prepped on. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I knew where I wanted to train, who I wanted to train with, what workshops I wanted to take, what agencies I wanted to go speak to. You know, I had a game plan and a blueprint, and all the groundwork was done here before eventually going over that side. And I could not have done more in the time that I was there.
But I feel like, because I've traveled a bit, and I know when you come from South Africa, you always have to make the best out of the trip.
Oh yeah.
Like you have to do everything because you don't get to go every day. It's not something
100%.
That's expensive to go.
It's expensive, Jelle.
Ek wil praat 'n bietjie van die commercial wêreld, want ek het gesien dat 'n recent commercial uitgekom. Check it out. A nice party. But I mean, you've been working on some commercial work, not just commercials, but music videos and things. Let's speak about some highlights of work that you've done as a dancer.
So Miley Cyrus, obviously, huge highlight.
Amazing, yeah.
Big one. Mercedes commercial was one of my first commercials where I was a lead. And I got to abseil down the Pinnacle building in town. Yellow, if you're afraid of heights, nee.
My good was a job, no, we must sail. You want to last sail, but I mean.
Yeah,
what?
Yeah, but it was amazing. It was such an incredible experience, and I think it challenged me a lot, because I even had to drive the car, and it's on the other side and manual, not even, you know, the steering wheel's on the other side of the car.
Oh my
God. You know
God.
what I mean? And it's a van. It's not even like a small little car. It's a groot ding.
Incredible. And what other projects have you worked on that was also like?
Oh, so this recent one that you just mentioned was also a big one, Desperados for Heineken. A lot of fun, got a little bit of an acting situation line there. So, you know, moving into that as well. But I think that was a big one. I managed to do a little bit of a dance video for Karen Zoid and Jody Yankees last year. Summer nominated Jody Yankees. Shout out, no?
Weirdest thing.
Amazing men.
Great.
No? Beautiful person, beautiful heart. Yeah.
I want to speak to you also about challenges. I mean, as artists, we know the life and life. Whether you're artist or not, life brings challenges. What challenges can you mention that you've been through and that you can say that you've overcome? Or what did you do to overcome them?
I mean, I think as an artist, you doubt yourself a lot because you doubt your talent and you doubt your artistry, you doubt what you're putting out there, and you know, when it comes to the casting or the commercial world, like your confidence can take a bit of a dip when that rejection comes, you know. But you really, I think for me, the thing that I really had to look at was, why do I do this? What do I love about this? Why did I start doing this? No? Because the minute I take it back to that, I'm like, actually what I'm doing is I'm going into this room, I'm sharing me, I'm sharing my gift with people. 100%. I'm giving people opportunity to work with me and to see what I can bring to the table.
Right, you get to play. You
get to play. Yeah, exactly. You get to express yourself.
So it's the perspective.
Exactly.
I want to also chat about the Hideout Collective, which I think is so cool. Something you started. Why did you start that?
So I mean, I think, so my role in the Hideout Collective is very much more producer-director, which I absolutely love doing. And it was always something I wanted to go into post-performance dance career. You know, I always wanted to go into directing and creative direction. And so the Hideout Collective kind of came about because, especially after COVID, you know, after lockdown, isolation, I felt like our creative communities were so far apart, and I just wanted a way to bring people together. And I also, because my heart was so close to the dance community, I very much wanted to give them a platform and to bring people together, because you know myself, people live in silos.
Right, especially in Cape Town, we do have that way, you know, where everyone's just on their own.
Exactly, and you know, we have so much talent, we don't always give, or they don't always have the access to cameras, to videographers, to
so is that what you guys do?
That's also what we do, because we specialize in film and photography and things like that as well.
Amazing.
So it's also about like connecting those people to other creatives in other realms, and then that way they can also create their own work, and hopefully that's something that spreads, you know, which we've really seen that. We've seen different communities connect, and we've seen people from different walks of life. You know, if I brought them together to work on this project, next thing I see,
they got more stuff together.
There's that dancer and that cinematographer, someone now working on their own project, or that one is someone getting hired there to be a makeup artist.
That's the point.
100%.
And people don't want to do that. That's so selfless. I love it. What would you say is the vision for you ultimately when people see you, whether it is as a director, a dancer, performing on or behind the camera? What do you want people to take away from you as an artist?
I think for me, I always want to support as many people as possible, and I think I always want to encourage people to create from the essence of who they are. And I think if I can create authentically, if I can express authentically and from the very essence and core of my being, I think that's something that I want to inspire people to do always. You know, be you, because what you bring to the table is so special and so important and so valuable. Like, you should never ever hide it or you know, try to put it under a bush or somewhere, because people need to see that. You have stories to tell, and no one can tell them the way you tell them.
And this is such an important message. So thank you for saying that, because we've got so many people that feel they're not worth it, or because you become tired, you become, you know, especially isolated. So that's important to know that you have a voice.
Absolutely.
You know, what advice would you give your younger self? If you look back and you can give your younger self a nice WhatsApp voice note, what advice would you send to young Michelle?
A little WhatsApp voice, like a 20-minute voice note.
Okay.
So my essay.
What would you say to your younger self?
I think one of the biggest things I'd say to myself is hold on tight, because the ride is going to be worth it. Don't give up. A big one, and I think don't sweat the small stuff. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you get so caught up in all these little things, but believe in yourself, trust the process, stop thinking about that end goal, that end journey, because you're never going to arrive. It's going to be a constant process of learning. 100%. So like my brother always says, TTP, trust the process. No?
TTP. Daisy woord per dag, nee?
Hashtag TTP.
TTP. Just a random one before we go to your socials. How do you stay motivated on days that's like, where you feel like, yo, I don't smack today? How do you stay motivated?
Shoot.
Even if it's like a bad week or a bad day, how do you stay motivated to keep on going?
I think I usually always involve so many people in what I do, and I also remind myself how many people are looking up to me or seeing me doing things, because sometimes you're inspiring people and you don't even know it, no? And like when I'm working on a project, it's now no longer just me on this project. Now there are other people that are involved.
Responsibility.
And there's that responsibility of I have to keep going, if not for me, for them.
Woo!
Yes.
Hello, and I thank you. Social media, where can we catch you and how can we support you?
On the gram, I'm at _Michelle_Hughes. And that's about it.
Is that okay? I was like, and the High Road Collective.
High Road Collective is just at the High Road Collective.
Awesome
yeah,
stuff.
the High Road Co.
I feel like the opening was too much. I did too much.
I was
there.
like, shoot.
You were like, Mel, just calm down. It's not
I just
that
have
deep.
one instant. That's
cool.
it.
I'll share mine. Facebook, Mel Yopel. Please check us out on Facebook and Instagram, Melrock Thank you so much for tuning in to the show, and please make sure that you follow and support this beautiful lady.
Thank you.